thought I'd show you guys the Africa room. A couple of little things to see. That's a soapstone chameleon got from the Victoria Falls in Zim. So these things don't get looked at very often, as you can see. These are some bookends of hippos, also from Zim. Bookends, right? And the masks, that was a guy selling them on the side of the road in Zimbabwe on the way up to Vic Falls. These are actually from Asia, don't worry about them. This guy is from Zimbabwe. I think the Binga tribe or something. They actually wear them when they do the dances at the Vic Falls Hotel. This guy's from Kenya. Soapstone rhinoceros carving Zim. That carving of the woman. I've done an episode where Dad took me to Botswana in '74. We went on this crazy journey looking for African carvings. Right out in Botswana on the mission stations. You know, Isla Duana. That's one of them that I had framed when I was living in that house in the 80s, I think. Early 90s probably, early 90s. Isla Duana. So I just collected this from the post office. It's a print, fine art print they call it, I ordered, of the last stand of the 17th Lancers at the Battle of Modderfontein in 1900. And this is the same print, not the same physical print, but it's the same image that my neighbour Alan found, or said that he found in the tip all those years ago, back in 1980, I reckon. I should have bought it off him at the time, but now I have it and I'll get it framed on Thursday. It's magnificent. And just of interest is the regimental badge of the 17th Lancers, which is the skull and the motto, Death or Glory. So in 1967, my dad went back to England for the last time and he bought these. I don't know where he got them or why he got them. He bought half a dozen of these regimental badges back with him. And one of them was the Lancer's skull there. So I'll be showing you guys when I get it framed. I've got a spot waiting just for it. But here it is, the last stand of the 17th. And this is what I've just put up in the last week. The 17th Lancers, the Death and Glory boys, all that was left of them, the Battle of Modderfontein. This is a print that that guy had that he said he found at the tip. I've put up my plates. So, the fighting Scotsman Mac, MacDonald, Field Marshal Roberts, right? This stuff I just found at the op shop or the thrift shop. I'm going to get rid of them. Get another frame made. Had the defence of Rorke's fixed because the glass was cracked. And I've got my receipt from when I visited Rorke's Drift last year. Okay, that's me at the Battle of Paardeberg. That's my favourite shot of my holiday with an authentic Boer War helmet. Right, saving the guns at Colenso. The death of Freddie Roberts. What about here? One time coming back from Warrnambool, we stopped at a antique shop, second-hand shop, and I negotiated a price on this, mainly because of Heathcote is the next town up from us. But that is a World War I scene. You can see it's dated 1916. I found out where this used to sit. Farley is a famous name in Heathcote. Yeah, this is a famous charge to save the guns from the Germans. I did read about it recently, but I can't off the top of my head tell you what it's about. A giraffe that I brought back from Zimbabwe, wooden giraffe. There's that club that I got, a Zulu knob kerry. It looks like the shields are never going to come back that I bought over there. I bought 2 shields. They're too hard to get back. That's from that trip in '74. I think it's dated on the back 74 actually, so 50 years ago. That came home from Botswana. Stole that in Uganda. The London News, 1893. Yeah, I liked framing these old. That's the sort of shield you want, but they're hard to get. But anyway, that's what was done for me recently, about 6 months ago. That's the bullets I found or bought off those kids at Kambula. And that spearhead, well, the guy that sold it, he said that they found it at Isildwana. I choose to believe him. There's a photo of me at Isildwana. Right. That's the search for the Imperial, the French Imperial, Louis. We went there. We found where Louis was killed by the Zulus. Have a look for that episode. That's the Swazi shield I was given as a kid in about 73. I'm going to get that tattooed on my other arm, actually. And this is, I just found it recently under a chair. I dusted it up, the rhino head from Zimbabwe. And that's the another Kenyan mask. These are Indian, Sri Lanka, rubbish. A couple of knickknacks over here. That's a soapstone carving of one of the drum players from Zimbabwe, right? The guy broke, and here's a couple of Boer War books. You know, written at the time, contemporary Boer War books that I've never really read. They're pretty big and serious. So, yeah, that's the Africa room. So I've got this poem for you that was written by an Australian, a young Australian, M. Grover, on the 25th of November 1899. It's concerning the Battle of Graspan, or the South Africans would pronounce it Graspan, but I doubt this young fella would have known how to say that. He would have called it Graspan. So we'll use the Australian pronunciation for the poem. So, yeah, let's go back in time to the 25th of November 1899, and let's hear what he says. I killed a man at Graspan. I killed him fair in a fight, and the Empire's poets and the Empire's priests swear blind I acted right. The Empire's poets and the Empire's priests make out my deed was fine, but they can't stop the eyes of the man I killed from staring into mine. I killed a man at Graspan, maybe I killed a score, but this one wasn't a chance shot home from 1,000 yards or more. I fired him when he'd got no show. We were only a pace apart, with a cordite scorch in his old worn coat as the bullet drilled his heart. I killed a man at Graspan. I killed him fighting fair. We came on each other face to face, and he went at it then and there. Mine was the trigger that shifted first. His was a life that sped. And a man I'd never had a quarrel with was spread on the boulders dead. I killed a man at Graspan. I watched him squirming still. He raised his eyes and they met with mine, and there they staring still. Cut of my brother Tom he looked, hardly more than a kid, and Christ he was stiffening at my feet because of the thing I did. I killed a man at Graspan. I told the camp that night, and of all the lies that I've ever told, that was the poorest skit. I swore I was proud of my hand to hand and the boar I'd chanced to pot, and all the time I'd given him my eyes to never had fired that shot. I killed a man at Graspan an hour ago about, for there he lies with his staring eyes and his blood still trickling out. I know it was either him or me. I know that I killed him fair, but all the same, wherever I look, that man I killed is there. I killed a man at Graspan, my first and God my last. Harder dodge than my bullet is, the look that his dead eyes cast. If the Empire asks for me later on, it'll ask for me in vain, before I reach for my bandolier to firing a man again.
did I see it? The Royal Engineers. I swear there was an Australian regiment also. North, there you go.
New South Wales Lancers.
Yeah, but I've read there was only 29 men.
Yeah.
So it wasn't many Australians involved. In fact, this whole Western Front, there's not that many, I feel, Australian soldiers who fought in.
I think you got to think of the three advances. So you got Buller coming up through Natal.
That's it.
You got is it Roberts, the central one? He's heading for Bloemfontein.
That's right.
And we've got Methuen racing to relieve the Diamonds at Kimberley.
Yeah.
And Cecil John Rhodes is in Kimberley.
Yeah, certainly not.
Although, yeah, depends which angle. That flat one, maybe be that one.
Yeah, that is what they call Tafelkop. So that's where the Boers were all in the Free State Commanders were all on the top. So basically, this was a classic infantry one.
Yeah.
They stormed these hills and they chased the Free State. The Free Staters, unfortunately, do not cover themselves in glory here. In this battle and the one which is further down the railway line at the Battle of Graspan. Both times the Free States were defeated. But Methuen didn't follow up.
No.
You know, he could have caught them, but he didn't.
He probably bombarded the ridges with his artillery. The Battle of Graspan, also known as the Battle of Ensslin, was an engagement in the Second Boer War near the Ensslin railway station at Graspan Kopje. The battle took place on November 25th, 1899, between British forces led by Lord Methuen and Boers led by Koos de la Rey. After the Battle of Belmont, Lord Methuen's force advanced up the railway in armoured trains. On November the 24th, a train was shelled by Boer artillery in the nearby hills, derailing it. Methuen then decided to engage the Boers to continue his advance, with subsequent assault on the next day. In the morning of November the 25th, the 9th Brigade headed north towards Graspan Kopje. A Boer pom-pom fired on the British advance, along with 4 75mm Krupp guns. The artillery fire killed 5 British regulars and 2 horses. In response, the British fired their 12-inch naval guns, quickly silencing the Boers. After the artillery engagement, Methuen telegraphed the Coldstreams, the Scots and the Grenadiers to advance from Belmont to Graspan. At about 7 a.m, the Guards Brigade, along with the North Hampshires and the Northumberland Fusiliers, advanced up the railway towards the Kopje. A naval brigade consisting of sailors from the HMS Doris, Terrible and Powerful, as well as a battalion of the Royal Marines, were present. As the battle began, the Guards Brigade was held in reserve towards the rear, as they were heavily engaged at the Battle of Belmont just 2 days earlier. The Fusiliers and light infantry regiments were brought up and sent to attack the Boer positions. The Naval Brigade advanced towards the Boer positions exposed. Unlike their army counterparts, these troops were not accustomed to the method of fighting that the regular infantry had faced. As such, the Naval Brigade suffered many casualties due to their inexperience. As they advanced towards the Boer positions, the British opened fire on the Boer positions under the cover of the grass and rocks. Dashing advances were made by the British until they reached the hill. Boer rifle fire managed to pick off some of the British, but were unable to halt the advance. The Guards eventually reached the base of the hill and charged the Boer positions. Some Boers, upon seeing the British charges, retreated from the hill. Others stayed behind, holding off the British as long as possible. Eventually, the British had encircled the position and had successfully infiltrated into the trenches, causing them to retreat to Modder River.